Hey guys, welcome to this video today on the lat press down. We're going to be walking through a few different things. One, we're going to be walking through which muscles we are working. Then we're going to walk you through setup and execution. And then I'm going to be finishing it with the most common mistakes and why you're probably feeling your triceps more than anything else during this movement. So what muscles are we working? Well, we're working the lats and the teres with this. So the lats are going to attach to your upper arm, and then they run down and they attach to different places, going all the way down your spine, and then as well as to the iliac crest or your pelvic bone here at the back. So it's a pretty broad muscle group. We're also really working the teres. They're in a good position to take on the load as well. So that's what we're working on. Execution for this. You are going to position the pulley at the very, very top. And then there's a few different ways that we can actually perform this. So I'm going to break down a few different options that you have. So I want you to take a step way back from the pulley. I mean, it doesn't have to be like way back here, obviously, but I do want you to take a big step back. And the reason why is because when we kind of lean forward, we're going to allow the pulley to kind of pull up in this direction, almost pull your arms forward. And that's going to really stretch out the lats. And then I'm going to have you focus on keeping your arms really straight and just think about driving the hands down and then back up. Okay? So to get into position, lean forward, allow it to pull your arms forward a little bit, and then think about driving the hands down and keeping those arms relatively straight. And that's really, really important because that leads us into one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they turn this into a triceps exercise. Now, the triceps are going to be working, but not working through like a contraction. They're not lengthening and shortening, but more an isometric, because the triceps are going to be engaged to keep the arm relatively straight. Most people are thinking about getting their hands from point A to point B. So they allow the arms to bend, and then down here at the bottom, they extend down. So do you see what happens? They come down here, and then about right here, they're like, oh wait, my hands are supposed to be lower. So all of a sudden they're using triceps for elbow extension. So here it is, lats, 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 triceps. And then they're like, man, why are my triceps hurting so much in this exercise, right? Well, it's because you're using them way too much. So if we lean forward like this, allow the arms and the shoulders to protract forward and up, and then keep the arms straight as you drive down, then we're going to be keeping a lot more attention on the teres and the lats throughout this movement there. Now, there is another way that we can do this. You can stay more upright and pull down like that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just kind of working the lats through more of a mid position. By leaning forward and allowing them to lengthen, we're really or stretch, we're really lengthening out the lats and working them like that. So that's a really beneficial way to do it. Another more advanced way to do this is lean forward, allow the lats to really stretch and lengthen, and then as you're going down, you can kind of come up a little bit and squeeze, and we can get them a little bit more shortened through that mid lower lat section. So this would also be an appropriate way, a little bit more advanced to kind of work. And it's nice because it works the lats through the length and mid, and then as we come up, we can kind of overload them even more in the short position. So if you see somebody doing it this way, it's not wrong, okay? It's just one way to work the lats with the lat pull down. But I pretty much already covered the thing that people do wrong is they will do this extension here or kind of keep things like a little bit too bent. And we need to really make sure that we keep those arms as straight as possible. Now, if you are still feeling it a ton in your triceps, there is another option. We don't have to use the rope. We can also use, I'm going to use this as my straight bar. So I don't have a straight bar in my gym, my home gym, so I'm going to show you with this. But you can use a straight bar. And what that's going to do is it's going to turn your arms a little bit more this way. And that will actually make it a little bit easier to have the triceps not take on as much load. And so that's one option that you can do as well, is using the bar. So both of them are great options. I just generally prefer doing a rope. I like having, whenever I do lat work, I prefer having neutral versus any sort of internal rotation of the arms. It just helps the lats get a little bit more lengthened, having an external rotation versus an internal. But in the long run, if something like, this is an accessory move, by the way, the press down is. So it's okay if we have a little bit of that internal rotation, seeing that it's more accessory and not necessarily a primary exercise for lats. And if you have any questions, please ask them below. I would love to answer it for you.